virtuous woman. Boom.
Hello and good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are watching the Virtuous Woman Show. Thank you so much. Every Sunday we are here, we're seated on this couch, we're having conversations that matter, conversations that inspire, and we hope that we are a blessing to you. We hope that we're making an impact. That's our prayer, that's our goal. And so if we have impacted you in one way or another, or we have been a blessing to you, we'd really love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to hear the lessons that you have learned. We'd love to engage and interact with you. So if you could reach out to us on our social media platforms, we are the Virtuous Woman Show across the board. We go live on Facebook. We are also on YouTube. And so if you could reach out to us with your story, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know where you're watching us from as well. Let us know if there's a topic that you'd like for us to delve into, to handle, and in the interaction with you will be a blessing to us as well. Thank you so much for always tuning in and allowing us to be a blessing to you. Once again, if you've not followed us on our social media platforms, you can go ahead and do so. If you're watching on the television screen, call a neighbor, call your sister, make a phone call, let them know that that we are on. If you're watching on social media platforms, go ahead and share the link. Don't be blessed alone, as I would normally say. Today we have a very interesting topic. We're talking about compassion in action. And so we have a lady with us on set. Her name is Maria Moses, and she is part of humanitarian. She does humanitarian work, and we'd like to hear her story. We'd like to hear what she does and how maybe we can partner or get to know how to engage in humanitarian work for those of us who may be interested. So karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We are looking forward to hearing from you. But before we do, you can go ahead, look at your camera right there and tell us who you are.
My name is Mary Moses, but in social media, I am known as Maria Moses on Facebook and Mary Moses on Instagram. I'm a teacher by profession, a graduate teacher, B.Ed Arts from the University of Nairobi. I teach in a public primary school in Nakuru County. So what I do, I volunteer with cancer patients all around, those who are receiving palliative care at home, and also those who are in hospital, mostly at PGH or Nakuru Level 5 hospital, and the oncology department. I have done this since 2020, during the pandemic. That's when I went seriously into humanitarian work. Yes.
Before we get to that, you mentioned that you teach something. Yes. What did you call it? AB Art or something?
B.Ed Arts.
What
I
is that?
studied
what is
Bachelor of Education in Arts.
What art? Because I hear people say I studied arts, but what does that mean?
Arts mean I teach English. Yeah, you know, in primary school we teach almost every subject. Yeah. We are trained to teach a lot of subjects, but my main area is religion and geography.
Okay.
Yes.
I learned something new on this show every time.
Yes.
Wonderful. So is there a specific thing that caused you to go into this work? Why did you get into it?
Let me say that I got this from my mom.
Okay.
My mom was a very compassionate woman. When I was growing up, I would watch her hosting strangers in our home. When I was growing up in the 80s, there were women who came from, who used to come from Western and Nyanza province, and they were selling pots. They were doing barter trade. They would exchange pots and baskets with mostly dry maize. And when they came to our village, they would come to our home, and my mom would host them, and she would feed them even for 2 weeks.
What?
As they sold their wares and gathered the food
and they weren't paying her?
No, they were just hosted for free. And to mention that we were not a wear-up family. We did not have big houses, but we accommodated them in our small space. So I grew up seeing my mom taking part helping other people. And so I think it was inborn, because although later she died of cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, in 2016. I can't say that my humanitarian work started then, because I've always been doing that in wherever I am. I always have eyes for the suffering, and it is inborn that I want to solve. When I see a problem, I want to solve it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is even beyond me, and that is why since 2020 I brought in well-wishers, so that we can do more
Help. All right. Could you tell us a bit more in detail what you do exactly with the cancer patients?
I liaise with the hospital staff, especially at the oncology department. And we have patients, cancer patients, who are diagnosed, but they do not have resources.
Okay.
They do not have money for chemotherapy, and we know that chemotherapy is very expensive. So here is where I come in. We pick such patients, we pay for them the chemotherapy, and then they receive the chemotherapy.
Okay.
And those who do not have health insurance, we raise money and we pay for their yearly NHIF.
Wow.
Yes.
And NHIF then goes ahead to cover their chemo sessions?
It covers their chemo sessions, but not in full.
Okay.
So sometimes they do not even have the top up, and they do not have money for tests. So that's where I come in. For the few patients I can, because there are so many.
Yeah.
The prevalence of cancer is very high as we speak. So it's not possible to reach all of them, but we do what we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why cancer patients? I'm sure there are very many other areas or situations that probably would need your help. But what made you go into cancer? Was it because of your mother?
Yeah, I would say that. And also, when I went for the first time at the oncology department, it was my birthday.
Okay.
And I decided, I have not been celebrating my birthday in any way, but that year I decided, why don't I raise money and buy adult diapers? Because adult diapers are very important for critical patients. Sometimes we overlook. It just came to my mind. I didn't even know how much they were needed. So I just did a post on my Facebook. I told my friends, on 16th of February is my birthday, and this month I want you, my friends, to help me to raise money for diapers, adult diapers. And the help was so overwhelming.
Really?
I was actually maybe hoping for like 20 packets or so, but people sent a lot of money. Actually, I had asked for donations. I had even given them a drop-off point where they would drop the diapers. But my friends all over the world, some decided to send money.
Wow.
So I ended up with a lot of money that I was not expecting at the time. Remember, I had not pre-visited the oncology department, so I decided to go there and tell them that on this date I will come with this and this. When I got there, I found the receptionist, the nurse receptionist, and she was literally shaking, because when I told her, and I told her how much money I had, she almost cried.
Yeah.
Her name is Arume, a very kind person. She told me that I have been praying for this.
Wow.
She told me that she had been praying that God will touch someone, because she was witnessing a lot of suffering in the hospital. So she told me, you know what you are going to do? With all that money, we are going to sit here. We are going to take all the patients who have been unable to pay for their chemotherapy, and then you are going to top up for their chemotherapy. And then I will call them to come and receive the treatment. And that's what she did. And they could not believe. because we would pick a patient and pay like 10,000. We would top up 10,000 or more. And therefore they were called and they came and received. Most of them I don't even get to meet them. And they came and they would come and receive the treatment. And they were so grateful.
I can imagine.
We also bought the diapers. We went around the wards in the hospital. We found so many critical patients, and they received it very well. It was just a good cause. Of course, I was accompanied by my friends.
Yeah.
And we really impacted on them, and I got to learn a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
So you did all this on your birthday?
I did that on my birthday.
Wow.
But now, it's like God was putting in that particular path for a reason. Because as we were donating those diapers in the Nyayo wards, I encountered a child. There was a child who was very sick. Actually, it's my friend I was with. We were giving diapers to a cancer patient on a bed. And then behind this bed, there was a child who was very sick.
Yeah.
A friend of mine saw him, and she was crying. So when I turned, I saw her crying, and I asked her, "What is it?" And she showed me the child. The child there was pus coming out of his ears. His legs were dry, like he did not have any blood. He was a 12-year-old boy. So when we went back, there was no family around, so there was no way we could inquire about him. At that day, the nurses was not so, they did not disclose anything. They asked us if we were family. We said no, and they did not disclose anything about the boy. So we gave him milk, we left him the diapers. But when I went home now after that birth, I was not at peace. I was not at peace at all. I remember it was a weekday, so I was doing this during lunch hour. So the next day when I went to work, I was just counting hours to the lunch hour so that I could go to the hospital and see the child again and hopefully meet his family. And fortunately, I met his family. And that child really changed my life. Because from that day, I would go to hospital every day. We bought drugs for him. But I later realized the boy had been in the hospital for 3 months.
Wow.
Without any improvement.
Wow.
But when I started seeing him daily, on a daily basis, taking milk, I would take fruits, and then I would show him a lot of love. The mother had not visited the child for those 3 months, but the dad was around. Okay. He was actually sleeping on the benches at the hospital. A very caring dad, a very old man. So I took them, I helped them, and this child, he could not walk, he could not sit, he had bed sores all over. But in 10 days, that child was had completely recovered. Wow. It's like he just needed love and to see people that care. Wow. Actually, it was a dramatic recovery, and it changed me. And since then, I was now going to the hospital almost every day. Oh my goodness, what a touching story. Yes. I'm so happy to hear that he recovered and he came out of hospital. He did. Wow, beautiful. Yes. We will take a very short break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Maria on this wonderful, beautiful topic. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You're watching the Virtuous Woman Show with me, Sheila Juma, and I'm here again with Maria Moses. We are talking about compassion in action. Before the break, she was telling us a beautiful story of a young boy that was in hospital for 3 months, and through God's mercy, he sent Maria, and over the course of a few weeks, he was okay. He got better. He was discharged from hospital, and so we are here to listen to
the kind of heart, and I feel like before the break you could hear her heart. It truly is a compassionate heart, and I'm very, very inspired already, and I'm sure our viewers are too. So sit back, relax, enjoy. At the end of the show, we'll be giving out her details. She'll give us her details on how we can partner with her. If you'd like to partner with her, if you'd like to send in your contribution or reach her so that you can have more details. So stick around for that so that you don't miss how to participate in the work that she's doing. Thank you so much, Maria, for being here with us again. That's a very beautiful story that you gave us. Could you take us through maybe some qualities? Okay, first of all, I feel like the kind of heart that you have and for the kind of work that you do, I feel like it's a God-given character that you have. But could you take us through some of the things that you need to be to do the work that you do?
You have to be compassionate.
Yeah.
Just like we are speaking of compassion. It has to be, it's something that cannot be forced.
Yeah.
You must be a person who have genuine love for other people. You must be a person who does not discriminate against anyone based on cultural background, ethnicity, religion.
Yeah.
You also have to be patient because sometimes when you are dealing with patients, there are patients who are going through depression, and sometimes they may not understand you. They may think that you want something in return. So you have to be patient so that you do not get angry. You also have to be firm, because in this field, in the field of humanitarian work, there are people who will want to manipulate you, or people who want free things.
Yeah.
So you have to be firm and you have to be hands-on. If you want to help, you should at least meet the people you are helping.
Yeah.
Not to deal with third parties.
Yeah.
Because there are people who will benefit when maybe it was not meant for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something you've mentioned that I want to touch on. How do you handle the people who want free things or who will take advantage of you? Because someone who, I can imagine someone who has a compassionate heart or someone who does the things that you do, it's easy to take advantage of you and of your hand and what you're doing. So how do you handle that? And how do you spot this person nikanataka kuni take advantage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm dealing with the patients, when I'm dealing with paying their bills, maybe clearing their bills, or maybe insurance, I don't send people cash. I don't give them money, the patients. I deal directly with the hospital.
Okay.
I pay hospital bills directly to the hospital account. If it is NHIF, I take their details and I pay directly to NHIF. If it's palliative care, those who are receiving palliative care at home, I usually take drug prescription. I buy for them the drugs. If they need food, I go to the market. I buy food, because I realized when you give them money, they get used to the money and they will keep calling that they send me some money, send me some money.
And that has happened? It
has happened, and some will even feel entitled. There are people who you will encounter, a lot of different people who are entitled. You will even encounter ungrateful people.
Wow.
I have
what?
Yes, you will. And you do not regret helping them. We have helped cancer patients who received treatment and they went to remission. Remission means now the cancer becomes undetectable and they go back to their day-to-day lives. Some will call back and say they still remember what you did. Some will not. And you do not have to dwell. You move on. You don't have to dwell with that.
You don't wait for the things.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So you don't send money anymore, but do you used to?
Rarely.
Okay.
Luckily, I think I learned this early enough. I prefer dealing with the hospital.
Than with the patient.
Unless the patient is at home, there are those who we have adopted. We have adopted some patients. They are very critical patients who live at home, not necessarily cancer patients. For example, we have a lady who is paralyzed from waist down. There were complications, I think, along the way. And therefore, she has been bedridden since 2017.
Wow.
And she constantly needs painkillers, very strong painkillers, very expensive painkillers, and food. So that one, we form a WhatsApp group with my friends who are committed every month to give something towards her. We pay for her domestic worker, a caregiver.
Wow. Every month?
Every month. And also we send the money for the medicine and for food.
Okay.
Yes.
So how you send her money?
How we send her money.
Okay.
Because we know there is nothing else we can do because she's not in hospital.
Okay.
But she really needs the help.
Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, amazing. How do you keep transparency? Because, for example, I'm sure you receive a lot of donations, money, help here and there. So how is there a system of accountability? How do we know how the money is being spent?
Okay. In my case, I think here it's about the fear of God.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, I'm employed. I'm employed fully. So I do not have an active organization that I have an office. I have people to send, auditors or something like that. What I do not collect money to keep for a later date. I deal with cases as they come because of the nature of my work.
Okay.
And even where I work, in school, we have the pupils in school. You find that there are also patients that we reach through children in school. A child will come and tell you, my mom is sick, my mom has been sick. We have dealt with very delicate cases. So personally, because they send the money to me, I am accountable for that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I collect for a certain case and we deal with it. And sometimes I'll stay for some time because of maybe I'm busy. But when there is a case I am called to take care of something, I raise it and then people come in and they solve it.
Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. So the fear of God, this is a born again woman. She loves God, she fears God.
Yes.
So you can be assured. All right. What do you see this becoming in the future? What is your vision for what you do?
My vision is to reach more people. People are suffering out there. It's sad, but it is a reality that patients mostly do not receive emergency intervention if they do not have resources, money. So you will find a patient may die because of something very simple. I'll give an example of cancer. A patient may be diagnosed with maybe even stage 1 breast cancer, but they do not have money completely, even to pay for the health insurance or even to start treatment. So what they do, they go back home, they stay, and the cancer now, because it has already been touched, it escalates now to the other stages, to the point of spreading to other organs. While if it was caught at that stage 1, it would be treated and the person would go back to their normal life. So my vision, or my hope, is that in future there can be universal health, whereby the government has mechanism to really pinpoint those people who really need the help, and also to have social workers to visit them and really help them, because it is a pandemic. Yes.
Do you plan on visiting a government office soon, one day maybe, to discuss these issues?
Yes. I hope. Actually, The former county government was very supportive, although at that sometimes I would appear like I was an activist, which I'm not, because I would be very pissed off when I found children who has been detained in hospital because of bills. And in such cases, I would not raise money, but would appeal to the county government to release them. There was a child who had stayed for 19 months in hospital using oxygen. He was like almost abandoned by the family because he was not improving. And when he died, he had a hospital bill of around 450. So we had to talk to the county government nicely, and they released him.
Wow.
They released the body to the family, and he was buried.
Yeah.
So I hope in future such cases, desperate cases, can be addressed by the county government, by the national government, because we really have a lot of needy patients, even as we speak in hospital right now, especially with the doctors' strike. They are still there, and some of them, because they come, you know, this hospital hosts patients from all over the county, and they are just there. They do not receive any visitors. Some even die, and their family find days or weeks later. So we really have a problem, and I think our social workers should really need to do more.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
For anybody out there who would like to partner with you or get in touch with you, where can they find you?
My phone number is 0721 663828.
Once again.
0721 663828.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. She is Maria Moses as well on social media, as she said earlier. So thank you so much, Maria, for coming. May God bless you.
Amen.
And bless you abundantly.
Amen.
And help you to reach heights that you never imagined.
Amen.
So that you can help even more and more people and do more than you can do right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
may God give you favor.
Amen.
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 And
Thank
let
you so
God.
much. Thank you
Amen.
for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Please, if you can, reach out to Maria and support her in whichever way you can. Let's pray for her, and let's pray for more people like her to rise up and take responsibility for what is going on around our communities. Thank you so much. That's all the time we had today. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
The virtuous woman, woman, a virtuous woman.